good to be speaking to you today, Josh. Thank you for giving us the chance to have a chat and talk about PTs.
It's a time that I think a lot of personal trainers need to see software like yours and, have the run through. And that's kind of what today is all about, is running through your systems,
Yep.
and the software that you offer. And
Cool.
then basically showing the PTs like a sneak peek or a preview of what you
Yeah.
offer.
No, absolutely. That'd be cool.
How you can improve their business.
Sounds good. Well, I mean, like you, I think we've obviously everyone's going through a challenging time, both at home, at work, and all manner of different things. And it feels a bit like a Netflix movie for me at the moment. But I kind of wake up every morning and think I'm on season 3 and it's going to end, but it hasn't yet. But but that's kind of how it feels, isn't it? And it's kind of thrown up lots of different things. And as a ClubRight, as a company, we kind of become people's fourth emergency service. We're looking to look after customers and make their businesses sustainable later on, which I think is more important now than ever before.
Yeah.
And one of the things that kind of, I suppose, brought us to talk about this today was the fact that we both recognise that cash isn't king anymore.
Definitely.
And if you want to start delivering a service level to your customer that could be on demand or online, you can't send pound coins through the internet, can you?
No.
So you kind of got to start becoming electronic and start managing your business differently. And that's kind of why, making a PT viable post-pandemic was kind of what we were thinking about, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that there's a lot of PTs out there that have got basic systems in place that they need to up their game if they want to kind of see this out, for the foreseeable future, because of the day of recording. So what day is it today? Tuesday. I'm losing track of days.
Yeah.
I put a post up this morning saying one of the things that people need to focus on is not knowing how long this is going to be going on for.
Yeah.
So, this could go on until September, October. We don't know yet. So
exactly.
I think it's all well and good having an online kind of offering, but if it's been a rushed kind of quick, get it out there, make some money. Now we're going to look at the next step, like, surviving and then thriving.
Yeah. And the other thing you got to look at also, I suppose, is the fact that although everyone's going online or trying to go online, either good or bad, let's be fair, but this online thing is not going to go away. All that's happened now is that the online business and on-demand has moved way further up the scale this year than none of us ever expected to see it happen. But we all knew it was coming for the last few years.
Yeah.
We've all seen it, but no, now we're forced into doing something about it. Exactly. And it's not going to be where a client sits there and go, okay, well, that's it. It's done. Pandemic's over. I'm going to go back out and start delivering PT at people's homes and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
That still may not be what customers actually want.
I was having this conversation actually with a guy yesterday, and I think it's opened a lot of people's eyes. Like I'm quite lucky that since November I've been working from home, and
nice.
Let me see if I can show you through my garden window. Like, for example, I've got a big, I don't know if you can actually see that big pull-up frame.
Oh yeah, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that was literally like, that was £200. It's just scaffolding.
Wow.
It's like a prefabricated kit, and you just, they cut it, measure it, and then you just put it together.
That's brilliant.
Just gonna plug my laptop back in. So, like, a lot of the stuff for me hasn't really changed. My is all online pretty much. I just need to communicate with the tutor and the sales guy from Southend PT Academy, and then everything else, content production.
Of course.
So, but I think a lot of people that aren't used to working from home and everything are now going to see the online offering, and it's going to make their life so much easier.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
And yeah, I think more people are going to adapt to it and keep on afterwards. And
you're looking at a situation where you've got the person that most probably would never darken the doors of a gym, never darken the doors of a PT studio. It just isn't something that floats their boat. Don't want to know. However, all of a sudden, they're now thrown into this position where they can juggle childcare, work time, and actually do a session online.
Yeah.
Never done that before, and now they can suddenly do it. So I think it's quite interesting times, to be honest. So I suppose in a way that kind of leads us to talk about bringing that all together. Mm-hmm. And one of the packages that we sell at ClubRight is called ClubRight, designed very much for a PT to bring together the tools they need, like bookings, a members app that's on the App Store. It links with people like Go Cardless and Stripe for direct debits and card payments. Also links, very importantly, with Xero software. That's really interesting because it then means that instantly you become a tax digital business.
Yep.
You are then compliant with HMRC, and you are in a much, much better position to be running your business in a compliant manner. And actually, the integration means that at the end of every day, every penny that goes through ClubRight just get pushed into Xero, done.
Simple, isn't it?
It is, and it is making life simple. It's all about. So shall I kind of share my screen and give it a bit of flavour?
Yeah, love it.
Okay, let's do that. Let's do here. So get rid of that. So here we have. So straight away, you can see that there's an online page. And I'm just going to log in. So if you imagine at Woody's studio as a demo studio, we can see this link here. This would be a link that could be shared on social media. It can also be shared on their own website as well.
Yep.
If I was just to log in, I'm only going to give a brief overview because obviously we are tight on time. I just want to kind of allude to the important things that make running a business easier. That's really what it's all about. So if you imagine you'd have your dashboard, you'd be able to communicate with all your customers. You'll be able to see your members in a members grid. I would then be able to email those people en masse, should I wish to do so, in a GDPR compliant manner. There's a virtual till. It's interesting. Hello.
There we go. I got you back.
Yeah, back again. Did you see that?
Yes, I saw the member grid and I saw the till and everything.
Right, just bear with me a second. I'm just going to pause my share a minute. 1 second. I'm just going to turn a couple of things off that keep beeping up as we go through.
No worries.
Right, we should be. Can you see my screen again now?
Not yet.
Okay, let me just try that again.
Yep.
Now can you see my screen? Yay, great. So you have a kind of a till where you can bring together certain things you might be selling.
Yep.
We have a very clear online diary, so it makes it very easy for you to book all your activities.
Nice.
And then there's a reporting section where you can keep in contact with all the information that you need. Importantly, how many people you might have as active members, how many credits people might have, a par queues built into the system. You've also got an operating performance report. So this would kind of become your diary, your Bible, really, I suppose.
Yeah,
so if you imagine this particular piece here will give a daily, weekly, monthly overview of exactly the income you're making at any one time.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think so many people don't know the numbers and, they just kind of wing it.
Well, exactly. And the thing is, when you look at knowing your numbers, so many accountants go back and say to you that if you don't know your numbers, how are you going to get money? How are you going to afford to do things?
Yeah.
And more importantly, you can't scale your business if you don't know your numbers.
Yeah.
If someone wants to learn how to get their numbers together with spreadsheets, I mean, I know where I've worked with many PTs over the years who have got to the end of the day, got home about 10 o'clock or maybe later if they're lucky, whichever the case may be. But they'll be getting home, doing a whole load of work that then means that they finish the daytime job of training people and helping them lose their weight and achieve their goals. Then they're spending the next 2 hours catching up on admin.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Well, it's a killer on terms of your enthusiasm to do the job, but equally it's a killer on your relationship and everything else, isn't it? It's hard work.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things where it just adds that extra layer of complexity that you don't need. Like, it's completely unnecessary, and with
totally
help they can
exactly. You just don't need that bit, do you? So this is kind of going to bring together where you can create all membership plans that you're going to be selling. We have the ability to do bolt-ons. So if you were selling a plan that someone paid for regularly, for example, and in that regular payment setup, you might decide that they're paying you a certain amount of money per month by direct debit, and then it limits them to how many credits they can have to how many PT sessions they can book with you.
Nice.
Easy, done. You can equally upgrade people so they can actually purchase something and then pay more for additional features and additional services they might want to buy from you as well.
Nice.
Or when they sign up from the beginning. If I then went to, you can then look at the activity. So creating an activity is really super simple. You create that activity and then that's viewed online, which I'll show you shortly.
Nice.
Then we've got a built-in par queue, so you can create all your own questions and all the important things that someone needs to sign up for when they join.
I like that first question.
Well, how do we feel about that one? It's an important one, though, isn't it? Look how many people don't bother doing it.
It's ridiculous.
We have an integrated solution with Zoom, and that's another really big thing. About 5 or 6 weeks ago, we launched a massive integration with Zoom, which means that with Zoom set up within ClubRight, a PT can start to create on-demand classes for their customers. They can be in their home. They might be in another part of the UK completely.
Yeah.
But they can deliver that as a Zoom integration, and then the member can look at that on their app and then join that session on their end straight away without any problem at all. Which is quite cool. Go cardless for direct debit, Stripe for card payments, the integration with Xero. You also have an integration with MailChimp. So if you want to send out your customers, for example, newsletters once a month, you can do some pretty cool things with MailChimp.
Nice.
Even makes a person not as artistically talented, which I'm not. It even makes me look like I'm artistically talented. So it can be very clever.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
So that's kind of what the back end of the system does. So shall I take a quick look at how the actual system looks from a customer's point of view?
Yeah, go for it, definitely.
So if you imagine I was joining your studio, so let's go put my, can't even spell my own name, so that's a really good start. So we'll just, I'll make this one up because I know that that's already saved in the system elsewhere.
Oh
yeah. Make up a telephone number. Terms and conditions, these will be your GDPR, privacy policy and terms and conditions, which you should have as any business owner.
Yeah, nice.
Then it'll go straight away through to the next stage where they can then decide their contact preferences.
Nice.
So we can do that from a GDPR point of view. We can then accept, we found out from Facebook, for example. We can then either start a membership, make a booking, or find out more about the club. So if I want to find out more about the club, I can have a whole load of information let's sit in there.
Nice.
I could then go back and then start a membership. So if I want to buy a membership, I can go to something like this, for example, select the membership plan, fill in some information, add a photo at the time of doing it if I wish to.
Mm-hmm.
Here comes my par queue, so I can start to do my par queue questions.
Nice. Can you set that so that if somebody has like a response that you don't want, you can then say, okay, you need to go and get a GP referral letter? Or
it doesn't come up at this point, but it'll come up in the system, so you'll be notified of every new par queue. So then you can review that par queue to have that conversation with them.
Perfect. Awesome.
Because obviously it's the expertise of the side that person. Now, at this point, which I can't show you, you would normally just put in your bank account details or card details.
Yeah.
And that's it, you've joined.
Wow. It's quick.
It's really easy. Making a booking. Now, if you want to make a booking, you could go to the booking and go, okay, well, I fancy doing stretch, some information about stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Can continue that. I can then decide that stretch membership might be a case I haven't got a membership which includes credit, so I've got to buy something extra.
Nice.
So I can then add it to the basket, complete that sale, which I'm not going to do because it will go into a free spin if we haven't got Stripe attached to this demo account, but it would then just take the card details and off you go. Done.
Boom. Simple.
It is. You know, if you wanted to see this in, say, what it would look like in a mobile scenario, you can now see, because there's a member app on here. So when that member joins your business, we talk about members, but they may just be paying for a batch of 10 PT sessions every few months, and that's how they want to do it. They don't have a membership, so either way works.
Wow.
But they can then share on social media with all their friends. They've just joined sort of Josh Mullin's PT Academy.
Nice.
They can buy another membership. They can buy other products, make a booking, change their terms and conditions and privacy policy and password.
Wow, it's all in there.
And that app is obviously on the App Store. So, you go to the App Store, log into there. Once you've logged in, you'll then have access to that via the App Store, Google Play, whichever the case may be.
Nice.
So that's kind of a bit of a flavour of what GoRight could do.
That looks awesome. So I believe you've got 3 product offerings, is that right? So you've got ClubRight, GoRight, and what's the third one?
And ProRight.
ProRight. So what are the key differences really between the different levels?
Well, primarily, if you look at GoRight, which is the one we just looked at, that's designed for PTs and small boot camps and independent people to grow their businesses.
Yep.
Has limited functionality compared to, say, ClubRight.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you looked at, say, ClubRight, you'd be having unlimited members, unlimited users, more functionality from many different areas, including calendar widgets and plugins that can go onto your websites.
Nice.
And then you go up to, say, ProRight, where you've got at that level where you might be a gym that's got more than one location.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have memberships that go from one site to another, and you can buy a membership in Club A, which is also available to be used in A and B, for example. Promo codes and many other features that are constantly being added all the time.
Okay, awesome. So if we throw in a bit of info for the PT that will be watching this.
Yep.
If somebody was to get set up with ClubRight or GoRight today, what would be your kind of top tips for them maximizing their success? Now they've got this tool and they've got you in their corner.
First, I mean, in terms of setups, the important thing is that one of the team and a customer success team will actually help them set it up in the first place to make sure they maximize it and understand what they're doing in their business first.
Yeah.
Above all, it's like anything. It's getting in a good habit that you do start to not regress back to taking 30 quid cash in hand, this, that, and everything else. It's all about building a recurring business that's going to have value to you going forward, because it's recurring income that will give you a going forward income.
Yeah.
If you are the PT, and I find and I see an awful lot of it where customers they've come out of a PT academy, they've been taught well, they're very passionate, very enthusiastic, want to go out and help all these other people potentially lose weight and achieve their goals. That's fact.
Yeah.
But because they never had a good opportunity to structure the business with tools like ClubRight talking to the accounting system, which then means their accountant can sort out their inland revenue each quarter.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have a recurring income on direct debits, they're worrying about the next 30 quid cash and when am I going to get this, when am I going to get that. They also don't build much value in the business either. And a PT today will be someone that may start on GoRight as a PT, but next minute they're using ClubRight because they bought a gym, they've got premises. They then might have several gyms, so they then buy ProRight, they've got 2 or 3 gyms.
Yeah.
And we see that kind of people, how they morph up into the growth of what they want to do, but you just need to give yourself time back, and using processes and systems allows you to do that, because your member can book online, they can pay online, you can see who's paid and who's not.
Mm-hmm.
That means you've taken a big part of your work away.
Definitely.
And you'll be able to get home from a hard day's work at 10 in the evening, or hopefully early if you're lucky. And get home in the evening and think, well, actually, I've got no more work to do now because everything's gone through GoRight. I know who was paid. I know who wasn't paid. At the end of each day, all the income goes straight away through to zero, and the accountant will then deal with the expense side of it separately. But it just ties it up. It just totally brings it together. Yeah,
because I think I've been in that position back in the day.
Yep.
When it was 2000, fucking hell, what time was it? 2007 to 2010, when I was a self-employed personal trainer.
Wow.
And that was literally a cash in hand job, basically. Like, pretty much I had one direct debit that came out, which was my monthly gym rent, which was £830.
Really? It's a lot of money, isn't it?
That was
Like that.
an LA Fitness at the time.
Wow.
So, and that wasn't even a London club. That was like a residential gym. It wasn't really
Really? Bloody hell.
yeah, that was expensive. But it was all cash in hand, and the whole experience. Like I look at the personal training industry or the career or whatever you want to call it now, and I look at it, and it's evolved so much. Like before,
Oh yeah.
I'd still sell packages and monthly, blocks or whatever, and they'd get a diet plan, normally, typed up and printed out like a Word document, and they'd get a training plan, which is basically the same thing, and that was it. And
Yeah.
I look at the amount of value people can offer and how professional you can look. I remember just walking around the gym with my diary in one hand and then a pen, like that was it. And, to be able to offer your own app, your own booking system, your payments going through, it adds that level of professionalism.
Totally.
That was just unheard of. Yeah.
And it is an expectation now because people don't expect things to be that way anymore.
Yeah, agreed.
It's because that level of expectation and technology allows you to do these things. And with something like this, I mean, I'm not sure if you know how much GoRight is, but it's no setup, no contract, 29 quid a month.
Wow.
I mean, I know I say for nothing, but it is pretty much for nothing when you consider what it's offering you. It's giving you all the tools that you need to do it, and it just, I think it structures you, which I think is a bit as important.
Yeah, definitely.
And makes that PT sustainable.
Yeah, definitely. I think you go from having effectively, you go from being an amateur business owner to being a professional within, the time it takes to set up your business.
Exactly. And if you look at you ultimately, if you want to get decent clients, you want to get professional people to work with.
Yeah.
And their level of expectation is most probably the same.
Yeah.
And trying to expect someone to pop round to someone's house and take a bit of cash while they do an exercise in their, the routine in their front room, for example, or they're going to meet you down the local gym where they actually happen to work out of it. The fact that all of it is a little bit cash is a bit mad. I mean, there's a very close friend of mine, I won't mention his name, but he's a cab driver.
Yeah.
A good few months ago, he said to me, yeah, well, I've just got to do my tax return again, and it's no one really knows what's going on. And I said, do you actually really think that? He goes, yeah, well, no one's got an idea. But I said, well, put it this way. Most people, I live in Billericay, and my mate works out at Shenfield station as a cabbie, right? So I said to him, I said, well, if you actually generally think that the tax man doesn't know how much the average cab driver earns out of Shenfield station, you've got to be barking mad.
Yeah.
Well, they haven't got a clue. I said, well, of course they have.
Yeah.
I said, they're not stupid. They'll know roughly how much cash you're not going to declare, and they'll kind of wash their hands with that. But if you're too low compared to the average, you're going to stand out like a sore thumb. And now, with this whole pandemic and the support scenarios that have then become in place.
Yeah. That's bitten me in the arse as well.
Well, but for a lot of people, I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of people have suffered because of it. But it does kind of make you think that maybe if I did do it that way, and actually if this cash scenario, which I think is where I'm coming back to, the chances to take cash is going to be less the case. I mean, you're most probably like me. I haven't been out of the house for, 6-7 weeks properly now. We've been running the whole of ClubRight separately. We're all living in our own houses, all running the business. There's all 9 of us. Nothing's changed. Our service level's not changed. We're all online. We've been able to, it's what we do, so it's not been too difficult to do.
Yeah.
I've actually, yesterday, I noticed I had 2 £10 notes that have been in my wallet for all of that time. They've not been touched.
Yeah, of course.
So it kind of crystallizes it a bit to say, well, this is the way it's gone. It's cleaner. Yeah. It's frictionless. There's not the hassle. It's going to allow you to grow a business. And that's kind of where I'm quite passionate that PTs get back to being able to run their businesses and do what they originally set out to do to help people achieve these fantastic goals.
Yeah, I agree. I think as well, going back to the kind of financial reporting and stuff as well.
Yeah.
by going into a cashless kind of more direct debit or recurring payment system, you are removing some sort of uncertainty. Like I remember there were months, because at one point at this LA Fitness that I used to work at, I also rented out the cafe. So I ran the cafe.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Bacon sandwiches on you.
It was, that was the problem. And
Oh, yeah.
so I, there were some months when the cafe was doing really well, and I was, my partner at the time would be like, "Oh, so what are you earning from PT this month?" I'd be like, "I don't know, just see what happens,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah. So, because I remember there was one day in particular, I had 12 sessions booked in, back to back. Some were half hours, some were hours, and I was charging 35 an hour, and they all cancelled, every single one. Yeah, and it just I think that was one of the days where I finally realised, I was like, look, I'm so done with this. And then I, without going into the long version, I then went to Virgin Active as an employed personal trainer, and then went into tutoring and teaching.
Oh, okay.
Because I was still doing my own stuff through my own business as well, like boot camps and whatever. But
of course.
So my kind of final question about the system in general, and I think I know the answer already, but I just have a question to ask. So let's say, 3, 4, 5, however many weeks from now, the government say, right, okay, you can all go back to your gyms.
Yep.
Do you still think there's transfer for a personal trainer to use your systems for a physical business with ClubRight?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I think, there's absolutely, you kind of knew the answer to that one, Josh, but yeah, 110%. I just think what customers need, say our clients or PTs need to think about is that don't think that the stuff that you've been doing in the pandemic is going to go away.
Yeah.
It's an additional revenue stream. In addition to the stuff you were doing really well with people face to face before it all kicked in. And then the other stuff that we talked about with all the connections of recurring payments and everything is as equally important, whether it's the normal face-to-face stuff, pre-pandemic, to where we are now looking at the world has changed.
Massively agree. That's good to know, because I think there's a lot of stuff out there at the moment where people are putting systems in place and they are literally just thinking about the current, how do I get through this next month?
Yeah,
and pay the bills, which is fair enough. That's survival. I think with the use of ClubRight and GoRight and all your systems, I think they could then look at the next level, which is right. How do I take this and develop it into a sustainable business moving forward?
Totally, absolutely.
Because there was another point that I thought was quite interesting that I just remembered, which was the financial reporting as well would actually allow you to value the business if you wanted to sell it.
Well, totally, yeah. That's a very good point, actually. Yeah, because I mean, having a recurring income has a value. Exactly. Subscription-based businesses, you only need to look around the world to realize that the highest value businesses are subscription-based businesses.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what you do, because it's a bit, I suppose it's a bit like anyone, you've got a batch of, PT could have a batch of 50 clients, for example.
Yeah.
And those 50 clients pay them regularly. They have been loyal to them. They know what's going on and they enjoy what that service is. And if someone buys into that business, and if it gets sold on, I guess is what you mean.
Yeah.
It's going to have an intrinsic value because there's a recurring income. It just doesn't suddenly stop because you've taken that original person who set it up out of the business.
Exactly. And then the other thing as well is it's got that continuity that, for a couple of reasons, if someone was to sell the business, you're not just handing over a diary and going, there you go, crack on. Like they've got data, they've got everything's compliant with GDPR and HMRC.
Exactly.
And then also the other thing, like I like to keep my businesses quite maneuverable. So all of our stuff is stored online. We try to keep like minimal paper copies of anything.
Yeah.
And for this exact reason, like the gym that we were renting our classroom space.
Yep.
Obviously got shut down, so we were like, "Fuck!" Like
what are we gonna do now?
And I've got the laptop, and I've got my phones, and I've got my work thing. But with ClubRight, if this ever happens again, you haven't got to worry about scrabbling and catching all the.
It's all there. And the other bit you talk about is GDPR compliance. I mean, that is lots and lots of small business people, from sole traders as a PT to gyms, they have not seen the wrath that could be bad news with GDPR.
It is insane, isn't it?
And it's so easy to do it right. So, for everyone's benefit, if they don't know that, GD, you got legitimate reason. So as a business owner, you have legitimate reason to tell someone that their session's been cancelled, don't turn up at 5 o'clock today. That's legitimate reason. So you can send an email or a text message for that purpose, quite legitimately.
Yeah.
However, if you haven't asked the right opt-in permissions, which you can do with our system, obviously, you decide what those permissions are because that's your decision. Nice. But if you sent out an email to someone for a marketing point of view, would you like to buy my 10 session PT pack? And they've decided they don't want to receive an email from you. You've sent it out. You have got your backside hanging out the window.
Yeah.
Because GDPR could bite you in the bottom. And with potentially a hefty fine, a lot of small business people haven't actually taken that on board at all.
Yeah, I agree.
There's not many people that I'm aware of yet have been hit by it.
Yeah.
But it's going to happen.
Definitely. And damn, that's not going to be a fun time.
No, and it's again, just having the proper systems in place from the beginning makes it easy. And then your customer on the member app that comes with ClubRight, they can actually change their permissions whenever they want.
Exactly.
You haven't got to worry about it. They can say, "Oh, I don't want to have emails from Josh anymore." Make that decision. When Josh goes to send a marketing email out, Wayne didn't get it because he made that decision this morning. It's little things that take the pressure off running the business.
And that is really kind of the game that we all need to play, isn't it? It's just that focus on what you're really, really good at by minimizing distraction and bullshit, really.
Yeah, totally right. 100%.
So if people wanted to arrange kind of a chat with yourself or a run through the system, what would be the best next steps?
Best next steps is you can go to our website. You can book a demo with one of the team. That could be Neil or Dan or potentially myself or Mary. There's 4 of us that were involved in that part of the business. Nice. And then we'll take you through as an online demo, show you how it all works, and get someone set up and ready to go.
Perfect. Sounds amazing.
So it'd be nice and easy.
There's like a running theme of that throughout this conversation, isn't there?
Well, I mean, I'm a simple bloke, should we say. I like things to be. It's actually surprisingly more difficult to make software easy than it is to make it more difficult.
Yeah.
Seriously, it really is. It's very easy for techies to make things. I'm not a techie. I'm a genuine business person that runs gyms and enjoys looking after people and working with people. And if something's easy, I can get on with it. If it's hard work, I just sit there in the corner thinking, oh God, no. Yeah, absolutely. So that's not what we're all about at all. Not what we're about at all.
Okay, awesome. So what I'll do then is we'll spread the word for this and see if we can help some more personal trainers and
fantastic.
This video out everywhere.
Be good to help everyone else well. So good luck and stay safe.